I looked at my stomach and I realized, uh-oh, something
is coming out. I think I'm not a man anymore.
But who cares about that? I have 3 nipples, and I've actually given them names.
One's Johnny and one's Freddie. And one's Doreen. Doreen's good.
And I think they're beginning to like each other. So the moral of the story is
When you go fishing, go
paired to.
And if you got it, show it.
That's right.
Okay, I need 4 people to play the next game. It's called Helping Hands. 4 people? Anyone who hasn't come up yet? If not, we can repeat. 4 people.
I'm taping.
Come on up. Just come on up. And how about you do the hands? Sure.
You're right. You're doing the hands?
Yeah. Okay, topic?
Chicken.
The chicken. What you gonna do for your
Am I too high or too
I saw that commercial the other day. It's pretty catchy. It's amazing what they can do with computer animation. The guy looked like a chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I mean, I don't know much about chickens. I just identify with them in some way.
Poison ivy. I was chasing a chicken the other day. And we ran off
Really?
the bushes.
I was wondering, have you tried that hand cream?
Oh yes, it's very nice. So very soft.
I think you might be a little allergic.
My hands are a little spotty.
Personally, I like to touch myself frequently.
With the hand cream.
See, this is very nice. You gotta try it.
If I could only stop itching, I would. I'd like, what's the name of the thing?
It's the ear, chin, and right foot hand cream.
Oh, okay. I got the completely wrong one. The one I was looking at was called, what's it called?
You know, come on, let's have it. Come on. We can't just get this right away. I mean, so
anyway,
yeah.
this chicken that I was chasing through the poison ivy, I finally caught it, and it sounded like that.
it looks to me like you're choking that chicken.
Okay, I need 2 players for the next game. David Gertrude hasn't been up there. Who else? Anyone else? Help me self-select. Let's see. Who else? Who else wants to be in the scene? Okay. So this is kind of a fun scene. They're each, before everyone got here, I had a couple people fill out cards with a sentence on them. And so at certain points in the scene that they're going to do, I'm going to give them a signal to pick something. Or you can just pick out the cards yourself at any point during the scene.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
But you have to get through all 3.
All 3.
Don't look at them. No, put them in your pocket. Don't look at them. Put them in your pocket. Another one.
No, should I put that one back?
Is it multiple? Just 2.
Just do 2.
2.
Okay. So at some point during the scene, just pick that out and read what's on the card, and you have to incorporate that into the scene. Okay. Topic? Christmas.
What did you do for Christmas this year? That's funny. You know, my mom's side of the family is Jewish, my dad's side of the family is Muslim. No Christmas. We don't have Christmas. Oh, well, so what did you do instead? Of
Kwanzaa, something else? Pick one.
We just don't have a substitute holiday. We couldn't afford them. We were really poor. I mean, if that's like some Hanukkah guilt you want to give me, that's fine.
So what I was just thinking was, I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Well, usually during Christmas, you sit down with a big turkey dinner, I think, or is it the ham? I forget. Is that Christmas or is that Easter?
Well, if you're English like me, you have ham for Christmas. You don't have Thanksgiving.
No Thanksgiving.
No Thanksgiving. The English are not thankful for anything. They're too busy being pessimistic.
Is that right?
That's right.
That's horrible. Because I was just thinking that you look like Don King when you wake up in the morning.
You know, that's what my mother's Christmas card to me said this year. We do in fact celebrate Christmas because we're British, not Thanksgiving. But yes, in fact, sometimes I get some good bedhead and I do look like Don King in the morning. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
In fact, I would say back that you are the wind beneath my wings.
I do try to be encouraging, even if you are a shameless self-promoter. I don't have a problem with that at all. As a matter of fact, you're the poppy seeds in the bagel of my life.
Two more people, come on. Shall I call on people?
I'll volunteer.
Okay. Carter, someone else? Okay, good. Two more.
Oh, good. Two?
Don't look at me.
Do I pick them separately? Or?
Yeah, pick them separately and put them in your pocket.
I only got maybe one more.
Topic? The Beatles. The Beatles.
So, I was reading this article today and it said this record store had 20 feet of Beatles records on the shelf. I didn't even know that the Beatles, I mean, I knew they made a lot of records, but 20 feet, they have 45 feet of Elvis records.
Really? I was going down a long and winding road through that store one time. Couldn't find what I was looking for. And all I could think of was, help!
Well, I am hoping that you find that help someday, because we all need help, and the Yellow Submarine just may not be there when you need that help. Or, you know, they might be out with those, what was it, screaming yellow meanies that, you know, they were talking about, or she could be up in the sky with diamonds. You don't know.
Yeah, or the submarine could be over in Russia, and you never want to be submarine in Russia.
You know, I've heard that the English are now selling them, some of those subs that they used to rescue the Russian divers, because Russia kind of got a little egg on its face there. At least the poor souls didn't die down there. 130 or so?
Yeah, I think it was 130. But you know, then the police arrived and asked if they could help. But that didn't make any sense.
Russian police?
When have those ever been around?
Well, they just want money, they don't want help.
Yeah, and not to mention they're usually on land when we're talking about a seafaring incident.
And I just can't let another marshmallow into my life.
I don't blame you. What are those?
Those are marshmallows, and they're staying out of my life. I can tell you that.
Well, I don't blame you. It looks like there's an awful lot of marshmallows there. You know, on the topic of marshmallows, I have to tell you, you are very pretty.
You are very pretty. Came back to haunt us. All right, speaking of marshmallows, I need 3 people. Bonnie? Okay. So you guys are... You guys are going to do a scene, and we're going to give you a topic. Let's think of a location that's kind of funny.
The DMV.
The DMV? Okay. And if anybody in the room laughs, you have to put a marshmallow in your mouth.
In their mouth or our mouth?
Including us. I have to try not to laugh.
The person who says the funny one, it causes us to laugh.
So we can't be
So you guys try not to be funny.
Audience laughs, they keep.
I'm left from the second.
Okay, and you're at the DMV.
So you have to be serious.
Do we just start?
Okay, let's start.
So what are you in for? I get a driver's license, permit.
I'm just renewing mine.
Yeah, me too. Hate these lines. How long you been here? 5 hours. Crazy people.
Only about an hour so far.
That's not too bad.
Hey.
Got a long stretch ahead of you.
Hey, do you guys know what it is? I mean, how do you know about getting a driver's permit?
You did sign up, didn't you? Or have you just been waiting here for 5 hours?
Oh! Is that what it's for?
Have you all taken the driving test yet?
I don't have. Oh, no, I haven't before. I'm just taking the test, the written test. So I don't even know how to do that. I don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah, I took the written test earlier. It's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Maybe I can copy it with you. How'd you do?
It's fine. Yeah, why not?
Oh, you bet.
I don't know, they haven't told me.
So how do you know you're going?
Well, it felt good.
What was the hardest question?
How far? The hardest part. The hardest
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I think there's something wrong with my hearing. Could you repeat that?
Are you guys okay? You guys are really freaking
I'm
me
just
out
having a
now.
hard time understanding him.
What's happening here? Who are you guys?
You're at the DMV. Did you sign up?
I think I'm scared now. I don't know. I think I have a phobia of that white thing. What is that? There's like a little dark number there. I think it says 13.
Is that why you're
And today's Friday too, so yeah. I think it means bad luck. Maybe I'll fail the test. I don't know. Did you take it?
Did you bring a car?
I can't drive. My friend just, I just walked down here.
So what are you going to take the test in?
I'm sorry?
What are you going to take the driving test in?
No. It's a written test, not the main thing.
Did you study?
No.
Okay, the way this is going to work is 2 people are the actors and 2 people are the translators. So the actors are going to be speaking in gibberish in a foreign language. Okay, and then the translator. So how about if you 2 are the actors, and then you 2 are the translators? So we'll stop. Like they'll say some, they'll do a couple lines, and then we'll stop and we'll turn to you guys to you're translating for him, and you're translating for her.
What's the language?
Okay, what language?
Russian.
Russian.
They get to choose the language?
Well, so language has never been a language before, you can do that.
You can just do gibberish.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be any. So, go ahead and start the movie. Action.
Wel, mijn voeten zijn in Fair and Dutch. Thanks. Ja,
Hold on.
I come from far, far, far away. Big deal. Was een goed! Was een goed, man! Was een goed, man! Where I come from, they make peanut butter. Very good.
What do you do with this peanut brittle?
Not Mitarbeiterbenutzung? Ja. You take American Express?
No, we don't.
Nice, unterstützen das. I wish you guys had this beautiful piece of nickel that I made a couple weeks ago in the store. Would you like to have it?
We had it 6 weeks ago. You should have been here then.
This is fine wood. So why did you take American?
6 weeks ago, we got ripped off, and now we find ourselves looking at people through many different ways and need many forms of identification. And next week, we plan to
I'm listening to you. Well, the horse thinks it's good enough. Totally is good enough. He's explained that horse is person, and he comes here and he explains, and she decides to go out. Stop! Don't go there. He is Russen. You and he can go out and good.
Yeah.
Are we done now?
Okay, 4 more people can do that one more time.
Okay.
So, okay. You want to do language? We do French. Say French, gibberish and French accent. And a romance, maybe, or something. Give me a location. How about a location? How about a divorce?
Wow.
Divorce.
French accent.
I can't believe I found you with our maid.
Chevals one is like, who they, huh? That's right.
That's what happens when you hire my maid as my ex-wife as a maid.
I trusted you, now I can't trust you again.
It was the way she used the vacuum cleaner.
You said the same about me.
Galoo, galoo, y este galoo.
This is the last time you're going to see my bodybuilding legs.
Well, I may not see you, but you're not going to see me.
Yes, no. Is electric.
And the last time you're going to see my favorite funny faces.
Oh, you're so bad.
Yo creo que
Whenever you do that orangutan imitation, it always brings me right.
Kill the die.
Fellow members and guests. I feel a little bit more relaxed after that interactive tabletop is thanks to Vivi, so I'm thankful for that. However, I am still very terrified to stand up here and start talking about myself. But I'm extremely relieved and excited to finally get this journey underway, and by breaking the ice and officially becoming an active member of the club. The objective of my speech tonight is to talk about myself And I felt it hard to start preparing for this speech because I thought to myself, what am I going to talk about? I'm only 26 years old. I still have a lot of living to do. But as I dug a little deeper, I did realize, in fact, I do have a lot to say. After all, I am an only child with 5 siblings. But I'll explain that a little bit later. I grew up in Fallbrook, California, and I think it's safe to assume that most of you don't know where that is. However, you should, because it is the avocado capital of the world. After graduating from high school in Fallbrook, I moved to Santa Barbara and attended UCSB, where I completed a Bachelor of Science in Biopsychology. Now, I think it'll take me another 4 to 6 minutes to explain what that encompasses, so I'll save that for another speech. While I had a great experience at UCSB and learned a lot in the 5 years I was there, I think what defines me even more than that experience is the determination and perseverance that got me there. I did come from a family where education was emphasized and expected of us. So it was really up to me to ask the right people the right questions, research the schools, and decide for myself where I really wanted to get my education. Don't get me wrong, my mother and father were very encouraging and supportive of me, but I don't think that they were necessarily, it was easy for them to guide me through the process if they hadn't been through the experiences themselves. My mother got her GED and went to drafting, and my father was a contractor. After graduating, let me backtrack a little bit to say, I was very proud of the decision I made to go to UCSB, and my parents were so proud of me for my graduation. It was really up to me, after graduating, I spent a year in Santa Barbara trying to make it work, because I really wanted to stay there so badly. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. However, in a town where the hospitality industry is the biggest employer, I realized I needed to move out of the area if I really wanted to do what I wanted to do, which is to work in the healthcare profession. At the time, I still didn't know which kind of healthcare profession I wanted to be, but I knew that I worked so hard in school and I wanted to apply what I obtained in school to my career. I had family in San Francisco, so I decided to focus my attention on looking at opportunities in the city. And I'd like to stand up here and tell you that I pounded the pavement and I sent out resume after resume and made numerous phone calls, but I'd be lying. I really, in actuality, did a little bit of the above, but I was lucky enough to get 2 job offers right off the bat with the 2 companies I really wanted to work for. I chose the job in pharmaceutical sales for a small startup company, Altiana Pharma. So a lot of things I really, really love about my job. I have a flexible schedule, great benefits, a company car. However, each day I'm faced with challenges and must prepare myself for rejection at any given time. But that's what keeps me interested, and that's what keeps me going, not knowing what to expect for my day-to-day activities. But when it's all said and done, what matters to me most is family. My mother is the first person I call when I have something great happen to me, the first person I call when something bad happens to me, first person I call when anything happens to me, really. So that leads me to explain how I'm an only child with 5 siblings. There are 2 men in my life I call dad. One is my natural father, and one is the father I grew up with. My natural father had twin daughters with his first wife before marrying my mother. My mother had a son with a previous relationship before marrying my father. My parents divorced. My mother married my stepfather, who had a son and a daughter from a previous marriage. All of the siblings are older than me and filtered in and out of the house, not staying for any more than a couple years at a time. So I really was the only child in the house from the day I was born. Even though I don't see my family very often, I don't talk to my siblings very much, my relationship with my family has impacted my life in many ways and helped shape who I am today and who I'll become in the future. Thank you for listening. Back to you, Mr. President.
What are you going to be when you grow up? That's the very question my ex-college professor has been asking me for over 20 years now, over and over and over. Well, fellow Toastmasters, growing up as a little kid, for over a decade I wanted to become a professional football player. For over a decade, I've lived it, dreamt it, went to sleep fantasizing about it. lived it and learned something. Unfortunately, I didn't get to that very level that I was set out for, but I got close. See, after I graduated college, I found out there were few things, minor things about my ability that were missing to become a professional football player. I wasn't strong enough, I wasn't fast enough, and I wasn't big enough. Other than that, hey, I had it made. I was the man. I don't think it's just maybe 5-6 years ago, I think I keep going back to that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I don't think I truly understood the meaning of that question until about 5-6 years ago. See, take yourselves back when you were growing up, 7, 8, 10 years old, and somebody asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And look back at your answer, whether it was I want to be a doctor, lawyer, president of the United States. Picture yourself. Remember the enthusiasm, the spark, the excitement that you had when you answered that. Look at yourselves now. Do you have that same spark now? Are you still as excited? If the answer is no, what changed? Is it the everyday stress of your corporate life? That your friends betrayed you? Your parents abandoned you? Have you just altogether given up? We all have our good days. We all have our bad days. We all have our great days. We all have our terrible days. Next time you have one of those terrible days, take a step back and go back to your childhood and ask yourself, when they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And think back at the enthusiasm, the excitement that you had in answering that question. My college professor were to come to me again and ask me that question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he's asked me, I don't know how many times I've lost count. I think I know the perfect answer. I think I've finally figured it out. The answer is, no, professor, I still have not grown up. And I never want to, because I never want to lose that enthusiasm, the spark, and the excitement that I had thinking about the future. So I want to take this moment. Not yet. I want to take this moment to thank my old professor, Joseph Leone, at Cal State Long Beach, for his simple, yet complex question, his words of wisdom, for making me a good person, a better person, with a kid at home. In closing, I want to ask you guys the same question that Professor Leone asked me. What do you want to be when you grow up? Thank you.
Everybody, I have a question for everyone. How many people here do not have a car? Or maybe in the past never lived with a car? Great, that's a good number of people. How many people here on the other end cannot imagine giving up their car? They just, oh, look, just about the same number of hands on both sides. I think this might be interesting. Okay, at the end of my speech, you should be able to identify whether car sharing actually might be a better alternative for you than car ownership. First, I want to back up a little bit and talk to you about what car sharing means to me and how I ended up being involved in car sharing. Many years ago, in late 1999, I used to live in Phoenix, and I had a lovely little house in Scottsdale, and I owned a car, big garage I could park it in. And then I just got a job offer up here in San Francisco at Charles Schwab. I thought, wow, that would be great. I can go up and live in the city. I want to do that while I'm still young. Fabulous. Then I came up here and I had sticker shock. I ended up moving into a little studio that was probably the size of my bedroom back in Phoenix. And I thought, I've never been so lucky to be so ripped off. So then, I went back to people in Phoenix and I said, you know what, I'm not going to be able to own my car. I have to give it up. Some people are like, that's great. You're going to live in the city. You're going to work in the city. I thought, yeah, I am. I'll be able to walk to work. Or that'll be good for exercise. Or I can take the bus. That's an easy alternative. And other people were on the other end and they're like, you're going to give up your car? How are you going to get places? What if you want to go shopping and you don't have a way to get there? I thought, well, yeah, I guess I'm just going to have to live with that. So I moved up here, and my ex-boyfriend introduced me to car sharing. Oh my God, it was amazing. Has anybody here been involved with like city car share or heard of car sharing? Well, city car share is a very effective way that you can actually not own a car and do car sharing. It's organized here in the city. It has about 25 garages where they keep the car. You put down, I think it's like $300 as a refundable deposit, $30 like application fee, $10 a month, and then you pay, I think, $4 per hour that you rent it, and then 44 cents a mile in the gasoline. So it's great. It's a good alternative if you live and work in the city like myself. So what I'm going to do today is talk to you about 3 things that you should consider, basically posing 3 questions about why car sharing might be a better alternative for you than car ownership. So first question that I'm going to go over is, do you or could you drive less than 10,000 miles a day?
A day?
I'm sorry? A year! I'm just making sure you were listening to me. Well, if you drive less than 10,000 miles a year, then it might be a better alternative for you. The average car, I think, is driven probably about 15,000 miles a year. And when I thought about that for myself, it was about $7,200. That's a lot of money just to own a car. Well, car sharing is a less expensive alternative. I figure that I pay in a year probably less than $500. Whoa, over $6,000 difference. So, that comes from, paying up for gas, your parking, your insurance, your car payments. That's a lot of money. The second thing that appealed to me about it was there's no repairs. Well, if you own a car, yeah, you have to spend your time and your money taking your car into the shop. I remember one time I had to take my car in, sticker shock, $300 in 1 month, and I wasn't expecting it. And then the other thing you think about, parking tickets. Okay, with car share, yes, you can still get parking tickets, but you're less likely to. You're never like driving home from work and going around and around the block, and then you finally find that parking space. Phew! Then you come out the next morning and you're like, oh, they're doing street cleaning, and you just got a ticket for $50 or $100. I'm sure most people here can't see up how many car tickets you've got. So that is one question to consider. Do you drive less than 10,000 miles a year? The second question that you should think about is, do you need to drive to work every day? Well, I'm a prime example. I live and I work in the city. I don't need to drive to work. That makes sense. Well, some people might say, well, I live over in Berkeley, or I live over here, so, I really do need a car. Well, there's bars. There's also that carpool sharing, carpooling. Isn't it that there's also that option where you can go down to a couple different spaces and wait in the car, and then you get a lift into the city and out? Well, the third objection I've heard also is, well, I can get to work, okay, yeah, I can take BART, but I need a car while I'm at work. Well, there is a perfect alternative for you. For example, if you live here in the city, like I said, there's 25 garages. So you could go online, reserve a space for like an hour or two, and take the car out, and then you use the car during the day, and then you can take your own transportation home, that being like BART. A lot of employers actually incent people on that because it's effective for them, and it's also less expensive for you and for them if you're not paying the $20, $25 they charge you to go to a garage, and also all those in and out fees that you probably get from a garage. So another reason that you might want to think about car sharing versus car ownership. And then the third reason you might want to think or pose a question to you about car sharing is, do you own a second car, or Are you thinking about maybe buying a second car? Maybe you're married, maybe you're expecting, you're not family. You think, well, you know, my husband needs to get to work every day, but, you know, I like having a car available. I like the convenience to be able to just jump in my car and go shopping. Well, let's say you live over in Berkeley. I think they have about 6 garages there. And so you don't have to own the car. We just covered $7,200 a year. But you still have the convenience of being able to go to that garage and get out. And also gives you the convenience of just knowing that you have availability. Maybe your car is in for maintenance and you're unable to use it. Well, car sharing is another alternative. So the average family, I think the average family owns at least 2 cars a year, and because they think that they have to have it. And also the average car is only used 1 to 2 hours a day. So if you think about it, City Car Share says that they have, the 1 car covers 25 people. So that's the ratio that they keep. So these are things that you should think about. The convenience of having the benefits of a car without the hassle of owning a car. So let's think about that. The 3 questions will help you decide if car sharing or car ownership is right for you. Is, do you or could you drive less than 10,000 miles a year? Do you really need to drive to work every day? And do you really need a second car? Now, do you think, after I told all that, do you think car sharing may be a better alternative for you than owning a car? How many people? Anyone? Worth considering? Yeah, all right, great. So if you're interested in learning more about it, then I'm happy to talk to you. You can also go to citycarshare.org, and they have lots of information posted there. And you could call them if you want a reference to talk to someone else that may have a slightly different opinion than myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori.
Quite some time. Also in the South Bay, southbound 17 coming out of the hills, actually heading into the hills. Southbound 17, south of Bear Creek, we have a stall as you head up toward the Lexington Reservoir. San Mateo, westbound 92, Alameda de las Pulgas, car fire on the side of the hill for those heading up toward the College of San Mateo. Up and over the snow grade, 680, Kingo, Gary Hampton. Good news here, southbound 680 moving very nicely up and over the snow grade. 3 months of Phoenix looking great. Further up the road, looking at 238 very closely because he's driving on it. The Osh supercommuter, John Wayne.
In Iraq, at least 32 have died this month alone. Pentagon reports show the number of deaths among Guard and Reserve forces has been trending upward much of this year. More than 100 have been killed since May 1st. One woman who is calling for an end to the war in Iraq, Cindy Sheehan of Vacaville, continues her vigil in Crawford this morning. Sheehan's anti-war protest near the president's ranch continues to grow. Sheehan arrived on Saturday and vows to stay there until the president meets with her or until the end of President Bush's month-long vacation. Sheehan's son Casey died last year while fighting in Iraq.
Listen, I sympathize with Mrs. Sheehan. She feels strongly about